Welcome back, everybody, to the Maitland April local here in Maitland, Florida. I was just about to say April twice there for the city of Florida, Landon.
April, Maitland, Florida. Here we are.
We made it. We made it to Top Cut.
Here we are. Yeah, we're in Top Cut right now, and like it's. I mean, I looked at it and it's a pretty solid lineup we got right now.
Oh, we got a very solid lineup
Yeah.
here on Top Cut, ladies and gentlemen. After 5 rounds of Swiss, we have whittled it down to our top 8 players here. We have our 1 seed, Brendan Nasir, at 4-1, playing against Riley Wilcox at 3-2. We have Landon Morgel, also 3-2, playing against Andrew Navarro, also 4-1.
I think
Patrick Connors versus Kerry Diortana, a 4-1 versus a 3-2, and I think you figure out where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
on
we
the
got
last
we got a
matchup.
4-1 versus a 3-2 player every single top 8 match, and I mean, honestly, these are all very good players. Most of these names you've probably seen today on stream. I mean, like half of these. Brendan won our first match. Landon won
Our third
Our
match.
third.
Chris won our round 5, so we got one of one.
Actually, Patrick won our third, and then Landon won our fourth. I think that's what it was. Yep.
Right? Yeah. That was it.
Chris won our fifth just then. So yeah, it's been. You know at least half of these players if you've been tuning in today.
You definitely know these guys, and this is exactly why we said Florida has one of the best. Oh wait, no, not one of. We have
we have the best. We have the best local team. Come on
the
now.
best
Yeah.
in state locals, and that's exactly why we are the best.
Yeah, of course.
But
Like,
we're
no one
go-
ever was.
To catch them is our real test.
To train them is our cause.
Amen to that. That's what I love to hear. And we're about to get into our matchup, ladies and gentlemen. This is our number 2 seed, Patrick Connors, playing against our number 7 seed, Kerry Diortona.
So if any of you have like tuned in before, this is actually a rematch between these two trainers. Just in our, I think the last PC that both of these players made Top Cut, they were against each other in Top 8.
Honestly, that just shows how good these trainers are.
So-
The fact that they are so good that they only match up in Top Cut. I don't even think they matched up during Swiss
I
rounds.
have never seen the matchup in Swiss rounds. I'm not gonna lie.
And that just shows how good these trainers are. They avoid each other until they have to face each other, which is for all the marbles.
Yeah, of course. They're great trainers right here. And I mean, I'm excited to see this match. What about you?
I'm excited too because if we look at our number 2 seed, Patrick Connors, we saw how he piloted that Farigoraf and that Ursaluna Blood Moon
Yep.
against
Fletcher Dean.
Fletcher Dean against
Yeah.
the rookie Fletcher Dean, and he made top 64 at the Orlando Regionals last week. Congratulations to Patrick on that, and he was top 64 at last year's Orlando Regional as well.
He's a pretty solid player. He's been around for a minute. He's pretty good.
Pretty consistent at Orlando Regionals and
Yeah.
Orlando Locals. He always top cuts or just makes day 2.
Exactly. He's doing great. And we're gonna look back over his team one more time because we have seen it before already. We have the Farigoraf with the Armor Tilt to prevent any priority moves. We have the Amoonguss with its Rage powers. It's got Sludge Bomb over Protect is something to note. Ursaluna Blood Moon. We got Incineroar. We got Chien-Pao with the Stellar Terror, and we got Urshifu Rapid Strike. Now here's Kerry Diortana. He's a newer player, but ever since he's gotten here, his second ever tournament, he made Top Cut, and that was the one that him and Patrick faced off against each other in Top 8. And
That was it. I remember that.
Yep,
we
that
were
was-
here for that game.
that was when we first cast together.
Yeah, so a little bit of a full circle here.
Exactly.
And when we look at Kerry's team, he's got the Incineroar with the Terra Ghost. He actually said that based on certain events that happened over the last week in VGC, this team is very similar to a certain team that was used in the finals of the Orlando Regional Championship. That actually was very good. It was piloted very well until a Chien-Pao was terrestrialized in front of an Amoonguss.
Yeah. But this team is very great. It's the only change he made from Neil Patel's second place Orlando team was the Rillaboom is Terra Fire instead of Terra Water, is what Kerry told me.
Which actually is a smarter decision because Terra Fire will at least prevent Rillaboom from being burned from a Will-O-Wisp or the random Tri Attack that might show up. Because who knows? I mean, you might see Tri Attack.
Yeah, when the Porygon Z is used.
or Sacred Fire, because we did see Entei.
True. Sacred Fire, we've seen that so many times today on that Entei. And, I mean, I'm so excited to get into this, man. Like,
I mean,
these are two great, people, great trainers. Like, we in Florida locals, if you're a Florida local, you know these people. They're great. And this is their rematch.
And one of these trainers is going to move one step closer, Colin. So is the April Maitland local champion. Is it going to be Patrick Connors? Is it going to be Kerry D'Artona? Game number 1 is starting right now. Kerry leading with the Urshifu Rapid Strike and the Ogerpon Hearthflame versus this Incineroar and Farigiraf.
I honestly think that this is pretty solid position for both of them. Like, I mean, looking at Patrick Connors' team, lead, he's able to get a fake out and trick room off fairly easily, and Kerry's able to get a sizable amount of damage on whatever Pokemon he tries to hit.
As we see a Terrassalization come out on Kerry's side, that Ogerpon Hearthflame is covered in the Terra Crystals. Its Hearthflame mass has activated. It is now a pure fire type, and that Embody aspect actually negates the Intimidate from that Incineroar.
That is true, but the fake out is going to make it so it negates any move it's going to use because it is now flinched. This Urshifu is not going to do enough damage even with that Mystic Water boost. It looks like we're going to proc a Citrus Berry on the
Farigiraf here. The Farigiraf is going to gain some health back by virtue of that Citrus Berry, and because of that fake out, it allowed Farigiraf to get a free Trick Room up here, and the dimensions have been twisted, so now all of Patrick's Pokemon are slower than Kerry's Pokemon. Patrick is in the driver's seat early.
Patrick really is just in a solid position overall. He made a great first play, in my opinion. I mean,
I would agree with that, as we do see Psychic coming out from this Farigiraf. It's going to be super effective, but it's not enough to get the one-hit knockup, but that special defense drop.
I don't think it'll even matter because it has such little health anyways.
As we see a parting shot come out on the side of Incineroar into that Urshifu. Now, Urshifu does have the Surging Strikes, which is super effective against that Incineroar and negates any attack drops because of the critical hit, but Kerry could have maybe seen that coming because in comes the Amoonguss, but no, it goes into the Amoonguss slot here, and Urshifu goes down to 1 Rocky Helmet damage.
That's going to be pretty bad on Kerry's side because he's going to lose one of his biggest pieces in terms of damage.
Well, we see the Ivy Cudgel come out into the Amoonguss, and it goes down in 1 hit, even though it was technically 2 hits because of the Surging Strikes. That is big for Kerry. He at least gets 1 Pokemon taken out on Patrick's side, but at what cost?
At what cost, indeed. I mean, I think Kerry's playing the best he possibly can in this position. He's sending out
the Raging Bolt. The Raging Bolt has come out here. The Booster Energy has activated, and its special attack has now been heightened. That is really good for Kerry right now. However, this Ursaluna also has the Earth Power, which is super effective on this Raging Bolt because it does not have the Assault Vest. It probably won't be able to take much of this hit.
It probably won't be able to take much at all. No, I completely agree with you.
As we see the Terra Orb activated on the side of Patrick. Patrick has fired his Terra Orb out. Ursaluna Blood Moon is becoming a Terra Normal type. On the plus side, it also does negate any electric type immunity. However, the only electric type move that Raging Bolt has is Thunderclap, but it doesn't matter because that Earth Power is a 1-hit knockout.
Wow. I mean, if this Ogerpon is able to do any solid damage against that Ursaluna Blood Moon, that would be incredible because that is definitely biggest threat on the field. And let's see how much. Oh, it's not even hitting. We're going into the
Farigiraf here. Farigiraf does go down. That might be a smart play because at the very least, by getting rid of the Farigiraf, you ensure that Trick Room will end and you will be the fastest Pokemon. However,
also, if the Pokemon in the back is an Incineroar or a Rillaboom, you are able to get those priority moves off now.
You are, and also in comes the Chen Pao. Oh, that might be...
That Intimidate is going to hurt both of Carrie's Pokemon very badly.
It is going to, and right now, we see that there are 2 turns left to Trick Room here, so not really sure what the play might be here for Carrie, but we end up seeing the Spiky Shield trying to potentially stall out 1 turn of the Trick Room. But we actually know we see a Sucker Punch come out. A Sucker Punch and a Hyper Voice is coming out here on the side of the Ursaluna Blood Moon. Terra normal Life Orb boosted. This Chen Pao is going to be brought down right to its Focus Sash off rip with that Hyper Voice. The Life Orb damage will come out and hurt the Ursaluna, but what did Incineroar go for? The knockoff
That was
into the Chen Pao.
smart play by Patrick, recognizing that he needs to take that Chen Pao off in 2 hits. I mean...
And right now, the only saving grace that Carrie has might be a double protect, and he gets the double protect! He gets the double spiky shield off! He is going to be able to get out of Trick Room!
He is going to be able to get out of Trick Room, but is it enough in the end?
Oh, this is very close, ladies and gentlemen. That Intimidate is going to hurt this Ogerpon.
It's going to be very vital in the end, at the very least. But let's see.
The Twisted Dimensions return to normal, but this Ogerpon is -1 on its physical attack here. So essentially, I mean, yes, the Earth Power is super effective into this Ogerpon now by virtue of it terastallizing. But I don't know. I mean, a critical hit Ivy Cudgel. Oh, we just see a focus. Ooh, he was trying to maybe bait a protect out here, but the knockoff comes out, does big damage, a critical hit.
Yep.
And the Hyper Voice comes out on the side of Ursaluna Blood Moon, and it does enough. Ogerpon goes down, and Patrick Connors takes game number 1 in a really close end game, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick nearly... Well, he came very close to losing, and Carrie came very close to pulling that game back by getting the double spiky shield on the last 2 turns of Trick Room. That was honestly his only way.
I mean, yeah, but in the end, Patrick recognized that there's a chance that the Ogerpon could have went for a focus energy, and if it did, that'd be over for him. So he had to take it out as soon as possible. No matter the risk.
He took a calculated risk. His Ogerpon with Ivy Cudgel, that's only a +1 on the critical hit rate. When you add the focus energy, I believe that makes it a 50% chance to critical hit. And that would have been the saving grace. But also that critical hit on knockoff might have also been an issue there too, because the critical, by getting the critical hit, even though yes, Hyper Voice was still going to do massive damage to Ursaluna.
Yeah, absolutely. But a critical hit knockoff plus a normal knockoff probably would have gotten the KO overall on that Ogerpon.
I think you're definitely right there. But getting carried, having those double spiky shields, that was impressive.
That was a great risk to take by Carrie. I mean, he understood what needed to be done in that situation, and he took that risk.
Yeah, because he could have even just tried to do like a double protect, but that's even harder to acquire than anything else.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So now it remains to be seen. Will Carrie D'Artona be able to force a game number 3 here, or will Patrick Connors win the rematch? Because we did say that they have played in the past here at Top Cut here in Maitland.
Yeah, and last time Patrick Connors did win that match. So, I mean...
So we'll see if Patrick can move to 2-0 lifetime against Carrie in Top Cut. We do see Ogerpon and Urshifu lead on Carrie's side, the same as last game, but it's Chen Pao and Incineroar, or Patrick instead of the Farigiraf and Incineroar. This is very interesting.
Yeah, it seems like Patrick's kind of wanting to switch it up here in the case that Carrie tries to go for a counter to the Farigiraf's Trick Room. So he kind of just wants to, play it safe and mix it up a bit on Carrie.
That seems like a very good play here, but we do see Carrie is once again activating his Terra Orb. I believe it's going into the Ogerpon again. It is, because he does not want to have the attack stat dropped. He wants it to be neutral right now.
Definitely wants it to be neutral right now, and I don't blame him for it.
I don't blame him for it either. I mean, that just shows how enticing Intimidate is.
Yeah, Intimidate is just such a solid ability to have, and so
We see a fake out and an icicle crash here.
Now resisted.
It's a guaranteed flinch on Urshifu, but the Ivy Cudgel comes out. It does not flinch.
Onto the
Incineroar. And that does over 50%. That is really good damage right there.
That's really good information for Carry to have, knowing that he's doing a lot of damage onto that Incineroar.
So now it remains to be seen what Carry and Patrick are going to do here, because this Urshifu can basically go for a hit, and it might just take out that Incineroar here.
Yep, and it's... I mean, Patrick's in a position. He was telling me earlier that he likes to have Amoonguss in the back so we can switch into it to potentially base something.
And in comes that Amoonguss here.
Ooh, did the Surging Strikes go into the... It looks like the Surging Strikes is probably going into that slot.
However, but you also know that because
the Surging Strikes went into the Incineroar.
So Patrick realizing that with the Sword of Ruin, that's what caused Incineroar to take over 50% of its health. By switching it out, he ensured that Incineroar would at least be able to take one hit.
Yep.
But the double up there, that was really good play by Carry.
That was fantastic by him, like not being baited by that at all, so they didn't have to worry about any, Rocky Helmet damage. And so that was just phenomenal on Carry's part.
And now we see that Amoonguss is out on the field alongside this Chen Pao here, and Patrick is activating that Terra Orb. Is it going to be on the Amoonguss here? I think a Terra Fairy. No, it's going into the Chen Pao, and Chen Pao is once again a Terra Stellar.
Terra Stellar Chen Pao, you've seen it. I've seen it 3 times on this stream at least, and I have seen 0 Terra Ghost activate.
But we see the Sucker Punch coming out. This is enough. Ooh. It is enough to knock out Ogerpon.
That is going to be a killer for Carry's gameplay, because he needed that Ogerpon for the end.
And we see the close combat come out. That is not very effective, but the repertoire of that close combat, not only are Carry's Urshifu's defense stats lowered, it takes Rocky Helmet damage.
It does take that Rocky Helmet damage, and that's going to be super unfortunate going forward for Carry.
But now it remains to be seen what is going to be coming out next. It appears to be the Rillaboom.
Rillaboom is definitely a very good adjustment on Carry's side, seeing as we're getting a nice fake-out pressure going on in general.
Exactly, but also Carry does not realize right now that there's a potential of a Farigiraf on Patrick's team, but we do see the Amoonguss switching out here. What did Carry click? If he clicked something like that fake out here or the Grassy Glide, the Armor Tail will prevent it.
Yep.
And he did go for the fake out into... I don't know if it was the Chen Pao or not, but the Icicle Crash comes out. A Terra Ice Icicle Crash into the Rillaboom.
That is definitely a one-hit KO.
And Rillaboom goes down.
Oh, wow. This is a...
And the Surging Strikes comes out.
Ooh, is that going to be enough?
This is going to be very close here, ladies and gentlemen.
That looks like it's enough.
The Mystic Water doing the job to make sure that Chen Pao goes down.
That is very helpful for Carry right now.
But now it remains to be seen, what is Carry's last Pokemon? It's Urshifu, that is -1 defense and special defense, versus a Farigiraf and an Amoonguss.
Yep. And that Amoonguss, that can be very threatening for Carry. If Carry has an Incineroar, it might do pretty good. Ooh.
But no, it is the Raging Bolt, this booster energy special attack Raging Bolt.
Yep.
So now the question remains, what will Patrick do here? Because now he could set up a Trick Room potentially here and just Rage Powder, which he does end up doing with Amoonguss. So now what is the Raging Bolt opting to go for here? We just see a Surging Strikes come out. That is going to be really bad for the Urshifu here.
Very bad for the Urshifu. It's not going to appreciate that at all.
It is not. It's taken multiple Rocky Helmet damage points here. But what did that Raging Bolt end up going for?
If it clicks that Dragon Pulse, I believe it's a Dragon Pulse.
It is a Dragon Pulse. How much will this do on Amoonguss? It is not enough, and the Trick Room goes up for Carry.
That, The trick room going out for Patrick is very unfortunate for Kerry right now because he did not. He needed that. He needed that to go out.
He definitely needed that to go out because now with the Amoonguss on the field still, the Farigrev is still on the field. This Raging Bolt, by virtue of Ogerpon terastallizing, it is now weak to the Farigrev's Dazzling Gleam.
Yep, so Kerry has to like stall out this trick room as much as he can, going for protects as much as he possibly can. So we see the protect on Urshifu and probably a protect on Raging Bolt.
No, there is no protect on the Raging Bolt. He is opting to let Raging Bolt take some sleep here. It remains to be seen which Pokemon is slower. It is the Farigrev. So Raging Bolt is actually the slowest Pokemon of the 3 slow Pokemon, being Amoonguss, Farigrev, and Raging Bolt. But that first turn of sleep, that is 1 turn of sleep taken right now.
That is true. He might have not wanted to do that turn of protect because of the healing from Amoonguss' side.
Probably not, but the failed protect on Urshifu, the Sludge Bomb comes out, doing good damage into the Raging Bolt here. It might come down to, oh my god, I think that was a critical hit on the, yes it was a critical hit on the Raging Bolt. That might do it, ladies and gentlemen.
If it wakes up, it might help. No.
Oh, it doesn't wake up, it stays asleep.
And that should be this. That should be the set going in Patrick's favor.
That critical hit did massive work for Farigrev there, allowing Patrick to be able to win this set 2-0 over Kerry Dartona and advancing to the top 4.
Even though this was a rematch for both of them, these trainers seem to respect each other very much as they've fought against each other before, fighting against each other now. They're both great players in their own right, and this was a great match going to the top 8.
It was an amazing match by Kerry and by Patrick. Patrick just being able to play through that trick room and working around his team, just playing through the trick room, making sure those turns worked, and the most important part of it all, having that Incineroar to negate the Ogerpon Hearth Flames attack boost by virtue of that Embody aspect. Now, Ogerpon also was then susceptible to a Rage Powder or a Spore, but even then, it still doesn't want to take a hit from an Ivy Cudgel because, as we saw, it was a neutral Ivy Cudgel, and it still went down in 1 hit.
Yeah, Ivy Cudgel. Ogerpon does so much damage. It does so much damage.
There's a reason that we always say when you just click Ivy Cudgel, you click the bonk.
You click the bonk button because it just does so much damage.
But honestly, in game number 1, I mean, it was a risky play by Kerry, because if he would have gotten that focus energy plus the Ivy Cudgel into something like a protecting Blood Moon Ursaluna, there's a possibility we're going to a game 3.
They almost went to a game 3 for sure. It was definitely a close game. They're both great players, so it's a joy, and the games are going to get better from here on out.
Oh, without question.
Because we're going to go into top 4, then we're going to go into top 2. And that'll be the final.
And then after our finals are done today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a special surprise for you guys. We have worked it out with the organizers here at the Maitland local that after our finals matchup has been played, we're going to have a Regulation G exhibition battle for you guys. We are going to show you guys one of the first Regulation G battles at a Pokemon sanctioned event. So don't go anywhere. We will be back with our top 4 matchup.